Welcome to the March 21st, 2016 team call. My hubby, Josh, will be sharing about efficient versus effective. But first, I wanted to go through a few things, a little announcements. There were lots of things announced on the cruise, and so I wanted to kind of go through those. But first, our top coaches of the week from last week and the week before was Ada Sobey the week before, and then Sarah Deck this last week. The way this is determined is based off of your personal volume. So that's everything that you purchase, and then also anything that somebody purchases through your direct link. So if they become a coach, it does not count, because that counts as your team volume and goes towards your team bonus cycles. However, this is based strictly off of sales. This can also come from subscriptions that are going through. It can come from Shakeology that's continuing to go through, all of those things. So that's how you get those spots. On Thursday or Friday, I will be announcing the next one, so I hope it's one of you all. Success Club leaderboard, we already have a ton of people on the board, and we have 10 days left. So I know that this has changed. A few people told me that they've already hit it since Thursday or Friday when I made this little leaderboard. However, I didn't update it. I only update it on Thursdays, y'all. So congratulations to all of you guys that have already hit at least Success Club 5. If you do that or more and you're in the US, you get a performance pack sampler for hitting Success Club 5 this month. So you get to try a single serve of Energize, which is one of my favorites. Like, I love that, even for if you need to do cleaning really fast. I'm like, woo, I need some energy. Energize is great. Hydrate is like a really clean version of Gatorade for longer workouts. Recover is for right after. If you're doing 22-minute hardcore, I legit recommend it, because I was crazy shaky after cardio 1 today. So Recover is your recovery drink after your workout. And then there is creatine. I don't take that, but Josh does. And there's the Recharge, which is overnight muscle memory recovery. Helps to keep you from getting sore. If your customers are complaining about not being able to do anything, they hate working out because they're so sore afterwards, blah, 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 I highly suggest Recharge. I kind of love the sore feeling because it makes me feel like I did something, but there you go. If you're in Canada and you get Success Club 5, the performance pack has not been approved for Canadians yet. It's a long process to get into that. And so they are getting a tote. I want to say a Shakeology tote or something like that. So if you're in the US, Success Club 5 and above, performance pack, great chance to try that if you haven't already. All right. Now, Beachbody On Demand app, you may have seen it already. I downloaded it. I don't think I've signed in yet. I've been really, really busy. But it's only available for Apple as of right now. Where is it? There it is. Yeah, of course, as soon as I bring it up, it goes away. See, you can see it, and like all the programs are right there, just like normal. Your purchase things, all of that, right there at your fingertips. Pretty awesome. However, it's only available in the US right now. It's not available for Canadians. I've seen some people do some weird workarounds to try to get it, but right now it's only available in the US because of copyright stuff and all the issues they're going through. But they are looking to open it up later on down the road. Also, super cool thing is that you can download up to 7 workouts to take with you while you're without internet. So say you're going on vacation, you're going to be in the middle of the woods, or you're going to be on a cruise ship and you don't know if the internet's going to work, because it did not work for the first 2 days we were there. You can download your favorite workouts, 7 at a time, and take them with you. So that's pretty fantastic. Also, I don't think they're up yet. Like I said, I haven't had a chance to look through it, but 21-day fixed recipes, they're going to do a bunch more. And I think it's once or twice a week. I don't know. He wasn't in the session with me. I don't know why I'm looking at him. once or twice a week, they will be adding new ones. But the cool thing about this is that they're going to be doing video demos. So it's kind of like a 21-day fix cooking show. You only get this if you're part of Beachbody On Demand. So it's a huge value to our customers. They can go in, see the catalog of 21-day fix recipes, and then also somebody demoing that. I think it's like Autumn's brother is a chef or something like that, and he's going to be doing it. So those are going to be on there. And then Carl said that he would like to see it, and so I'm sure at some point it will happen, where, oh, people are chatting and I can't see. Hold on. Yes, it's only open on Android right now, and the reason why is because they test everything on the Apple right now. They test everything on Apple's market because it's the more proven one, and then they slowly release to Android. So that's why as of right now. But the cool thing is that you will be able to, as one of your 7 videos that you can download, he would like to see it and is working on getting it set up to where you can download those 21-day fix videos. So you don't have to like tote your laptop into your kitchen. You could just download them on your phone, like, oh, that looks like a good recipe. Download it on your phone, set your phone up while you're cooking, and do it right there with them on the video. So pretty stinking awesome. I'm very excited about that. Okay, I have to close the chat. If there's anything important, somebody like wave at me or something. 3-day refresh is on sale. Don't forget. So $5 off the kit without Shakeology, $10 off the complete kit. And then if there's enough interest, I already have a 3-day refresh waiting on me at home, because I knew I was going on a cruise. So we could do a team-wide refresh April 1st through 3rd. That means you need to start getting your refresh kits like now if you want them in time. The cool thing about that is that since there's a sale price, it's even cheaper for coaches because, you know, you still got your 25% discount. This is a great way to talk about spring cleaning your insides, not just your home, but like all through. I've done it once before. I didn't do it when it first came out because I was still nursing. If you're nursing a child, I highly suggest you do not do this. It will be cutting too many calories. If your child is eating quite a few solids, like if you're at the year mark, then you might be okay. But if you're nursing or breastfeeding, and they are a year or younger, like under a year, I probably wouldn't do this. Personally, it's up to you. But everybody else, highly suggest you do it. Try it out. I mean, how can you sell or talk about something that you've never done? So when we have the Kickstart promos and stuff like that, I never used to be able to talk about it because I had never done it. But it's huge. I mean, made a huge difference for me. I think I only lost 3 or 4 pounds. But boy, it like killed my cravings. It busted through a bunch of sugar cravings that I had going on and addictions, and like just kind of leaned me out. It was awesome. And it wasn't something where like 2 days later I was huge again. Like if you've ever done many other cleanses. And then let's talk about the big shocker surprise on the boat. Everybody thought that Joel and Jericho was going to be the next program that was going to launch at Summit. We all thought Joel and Jericho because they've been talking about them so much, right? And they did some Beachbody On Demand exclusive workouts, and they were even on the boat. And so everybody was like, oh, this is it. This is what they're going to do. Heck no. Another program from Autumn Calabrese. It's Country Heat. It'll be available Summit 2016. That means if you're at Summit, you get first dibs. You get to buy it right there, still with the sale price, everything. However, if you are not at Summit and you wait to order it online, it'll be like a week later. So it's going to be awesome. I'm super excited about it. I totally went line dancing like every Thursday during college. So I'm going to go back to my college days. They're recommending it as a beginner's program just to get moving. Carl's big line with it was, it's like walking, but sideways. So, and so all those people that like, if you have either people who are extremely overweight or very beginners in fitness and very nervous to do something even like 21 Day Fix. I've had older people that are super nervous to do 21-day fix, which I almost always recommend because of the nutrition plan, this is going to be a fantastic program. It's going to come with the same 21-day fix containers. It's going to launch, I believe, at $140. So perfect price point, like cheapest challenge pack you can get. And then it's going to be great. It's like walking. It's not going to be high impact or anything like that. Super low impact, but a lot of fun. Popular country music. I think she has an accent in this, so I'm kind of weirded out by that. But it's going to be a lot of fun, and I can't wait to do it. So another announcement, which you may not have heard about, makes me totally laugh because I am a reality TV junkie. And Carl said that he's always dreamed of having a reality TV show. So the way they're doing it is they call it the Hot House. Kind of ridiculous. But the show is called The 20s. It's a bunch of 20-somethings that are all striving to be the next trainer for Beachbody, next celebrity trainer. So they're starting with 20, and then they're going to drop it down to either 14 or 11. I can't remember. There's a whole trailer. I'll put it in our team page. But it will be premiering in August. This is all going to be done through Beachbody On Demand. So again, if you don't have it, now's the time to get it. Starts in August, I think shortly, like a week or two after Summit. And the cool thing about this, I know a bunch of you are like, reality TV, who really cares? Nobody cares. However, each of you guys should know your niche market and what your market kind of enjoys and likes, and what they're going to be into. And so through this, you get to help select the next Beachbody trainer, which means you get to help select the next or one of the next programs that comes out. If it's going to help your market, you can help push it, whether you prefer it or not. And so each week, they're going to be releasing a new workout from each of the different contestants. This will give you a chance to try them out, look at them on Beachbody On Demand, see which ones you like, you dislike, and then do your voting. So I highly suggest, I think a lot of people aren't going to participate in this because they're going to think, oh, it's just a stupid game, like not a big deal. However, if you want this to help boost your business, I highly suggest you participate in it. Many of you guys are new and didn't know, back in the day when P90X was a big deal, they had something called the Results and Recovery Formula, and it was a post-workout recovery shake. However, many of you know that Summit last year, they actually launched the Beachbody Performance line. So we have had Recover chocolate for, 6-7 months now, and it's delicious. I personally love it. However, there are a bunch of people that still are hooked on the old recovery results. We call it R&R, the R&R formula, and it was an orange flavor. So I've literally had some guys tell me, like, no, I just rather stick to my orange flavor that I've had. And I'm like, all right. I mean, like, who doesn't like chocolate? But whatever. So in May, in like a month and a half, the Beachbody Performance line will be coming out in orange as well. So you'll have the option of doing orange or chocolate. So that's pretty exciting. I'll be sticking to chocolate, but I'm sure I'll try it at least once. Oh, and it will be in the Performance Pack when that launches. So in that Performance Pack sampler, that not the one that you guys will get because it won't have launched yet, but when people order the sampler and they get one of everything, when it comes to Recover, they'll get one chocolate and one orange. So that's kind of fun. April 2nd, Super Saturday. If you don't have your tickets now, go and get them. I will post another link, for heaven's sake, in the team page. This is an event, for those of you who don't know, that's run quarterly. We do one in January, April, August, and October. And it's basically a corporate-wide event, but done locally. So each market council, each bigger city, and sometimes even smaller cities, run their own Super Saturday. Corporate has announcements and new things coming out. They announce all kinds of new stuff, kind of like they did on the cruise. They'll probably be talking more about some of the stuff that we learned about on the cruise. But then you also get to do live workouts, meet up with other trainers, get free training. If you're in an area specifically where there's a top coach, you're getting free top coach training. Like, I mean, in other industries, You pay like hundreds, if not thousands of dollars to get this kind of information and training, and they do it for free because that's part of Team Beachbody. Like the more you move up, the more you give back. Like it's all about giving back so other people can come up and do the same thing. So that's my spiel on that. I will be at the St. Louis Super Saturday. If you're anywhere in the St. Louis area, come out. We will all sit together. It'll be fantastic. I really can't wait. It's going to be great. And then Josh, if he finishes texting, is going to talk a little bit about the cruise. So here, let me turn this
over there. This is the bad chair.
Yeah, you get to sit in the bad chair.
The joys of being at my parents' house and doing this run, and not my comfortable chair, but whatever. So I have to admit that I'm really nervous to be co-leading a team call tonight. I mean,
hey, look, it's Chris.
For goodness sakes, I mean, I'm a pastor and a missionary, and I've spoken in front of hundreds of people, and yet for some reason, doing a team call on Zoom really kind of freaks me out. But here I am. So yeah, talking about the cruise, first and foremost, in doing this. This was my first Beachbody experience ever, aside from working out with my man crush on my DVD, Sagi. Aside from that, this is my first Beachbody anything. Never been to Super Saturday, didn't go to Summit last year. So this is my first experience. And to be honest, I was super nervous about going on this trip. I'm thinking, great, I'm stepping into Lisa's world where she knows some people and everyone's going to be running around like in tank tops and yoga pants and working out and lunging and talking about Success Club points and challenge packs the entire time.
That's actually all we did on the cruise. We stood in yoga pants.
I mean, just standing there and lunging back and forth, chewing on a turkey leg and lunging back and forth. That's kind of what I imagined this trip being like the entire time. And so I was really nervous to get there. And come to find out, some of the other husbands that were there kind of felt the same way. So we kind of connected some beforehand. But one of the biggest things that I drew from this was I was amazed at, you could really see the heart of this company. And it was expressed through the trainers. It was expressed from Carl's mouth. And the entire focus of this company isn't money. Believe it or not, yes, every business wants to make money, and there are those coaches that are focused on money. But over and over and over again, you hear that this company is just focused on helping people, period. That's the purpose. Helping people better themselves, helping people reach their dreams, helping people reach their goals and strengthen themselves and provide for their family, and while being healthy and creating different lifestyles. That's really the heart of everything that we did. Everything they talked about revolved around that, and it was refreshing. And the people that we met, it was like family. I mean, granted, Lisa, the people that she talks to, her Success Club, our Success partners, she talks to them every day, so they're like sisters, essentially. I mean, it's ridiculous. I hear their voices through WhatsApp and everything else.
It was funny, like he got to put faces with the voices.
And some of them did not match the image that I had in my head. And then meeting their husbands was phenomenal. It was great. It was like stepping into, I established a couple of romances, I won't lie. Instantaneously, which is fun. But yeah, it was really cool experience, really cool to see the family atmosphere and the non-judgmental thing of no one really cared. I mean, we're all on a journey in their business. There was no, well, I'm higher up here. I'm 15 star or 30 star or whatever. And I make 6 or 7, 85 figures a month, There's none of that class inequality. Got a chance to sit there and talk to Billy Matway, who's Lindsay Matway's husband. She's way up there. I don't know these people. I saw them on the boat, and I'm like, great. I could have walked by one of them. In fact, I did walk by them. Lisa's like, that's so-and-so. I'm like, awesome. I have no idea who that is.
We were in an elevator with Melanie Mitro, and her son was having a meltdown. I'm like, that's Melanie Mitro, the top one in the company, and she's a real mom. Look. And he's
and that was the big thing, was that they're real people. Even Sagi, we were in Dallas getting on the airplane to fly to Fort Lauderdale, and he walks right, he's on our plane, and I get a chance to take a picture with him. That's the only thing I really wanted from this cruise. A lot of food and a picture with Sagi because man crush. But he was really nice about it, and just stood there, took a picture and talked for a minute. And so these are real people. There's not this big, even Carl seems like just a kind of down to earth kind of person. And that's the big thing I loved about it, is it's real people accomplishing real goals who are doing amazing things and enjoying it while they do it. And it's all about people. That's all it is. It's about building relationships. And I just love that about the company. So
Okay, moving on. We're going to talk a little bit. Josh has actually been talking to me. It's funny because he's read leadership books and, oh gosh, ministry books forever and ever and ever. And if you've ever met Josh, he is a teacher at heart. And so like when we're in the car a lot and he likes to sit there and tell me all about what he's been reading and what's going on, which is kind of cool because a lot of times he'll be like, and this relates to your business, and he'll start talking about that. And I'm like, you should talk about that on a team call. And he's like, yeah, whatever. And so when I asked him to, he was like, yeah, I think that might be really great. So he's going to tie in. I think most of you guys know that we've been itinerating missionaries for,
9 months.
Yeah, like 9 months now. And so we're literally on the road all the time. We haven't been to our own house since like the end of February sometime. And we're in a different city, in a different place, like every couple of days, typically. And so Josh has done a brunt of the ministry work because I've been focused on Beachbody. But with that, he's been making a lot of parallels between our business, which is a very relational business. I mean, our whole business is based off of relationship, but making parallels between our business and then ministry, and specifically itineration. And so I thought I'd have him come on and do a little team call. I've learned a lot just listening to him and some of the reading that he's done and the parallels he's made. And I hope you guys all do too. Don't worry, I'll probably jump in and talk too, but take it away.
So really some of the stuff I'm talking about tonight, the effective versus efficient thing I got from a book called Jesus Pure and Simple. It's by Wayne Cordeiro, who's a pastor. He pastors a church in Oregon and a big church out in Hawaii. And it was a really good book. I really enjoy his books. And they have many parallels. He talks specifically to pastors' hearts and to ministry hearts. But in general, whether or not you've ever been in the ministry, we're in the same kind of business. Beachbody and ministry are at the heart, helping people, connecting to people, building relationships, and helping people grow. Granted, there's a spiritual aspect to ministry that may not be there with Beachbody all the time, but you can draw spiritual things at Beachbody. But anyways, aside from that. So the idea of being effective versus efficient, and these are two terms that sometimes it's easy to confuse the two or get them mixed up, but they're two very different things when we think about them. I mean, he makes this point in that book, and efficient is doing things right. And so efficient, doing the things the right way to get it done as fast as possible, the most efficient way. I mean, washing dishes by hands is one way, but you're a lot more efficient throwing it in a dishwasher and letting the dishwasher do it for you. That's why we have machines. So it's doing it the right, or doing things right, or the best way. Effectiveness is doing the right things. And so they're two different sides. They're two different, completely different things. They're both extremely important. They're both highly necessary for what we do in our business. But if you use them by themselves, they're not necessary enough. And so you can be effective in what you're doing and accomplishing some results and seeing some things happen. But if you're not doing it the most efficient way, then you can be spending a lot of time to get to these results. You can spend hours and hours and hours to get these one results, whereas you can be highly efficient at doing something, have great systems in place, have some awesome spreadsheets so you can track all of your data and be really good at doing things really quickly in an effective and an efficient way. But if you're not seeing results, you're just spinning your wheels. You're wasting your time because you're not actually accomplishing anything. No matter how good you are at doing it, you can do things right, but be doing the wrong things. Or you can be doing the right things and be doing them the wrong way. And so both are good, both are important, but you need a balance of each. Be effective and efficient in what you're doing. And so drawing some of this from some of the ministry experience, because that's more experience that I have. I am an Emerald coach for doing nothing at all. And so, because Lisa's built the business for me. But learning from the things that I've learned in ministry, as a missionary, we have to raise our own budget. It's part of what we do being with the Assemblies of God. And I'm going to draw a lot of parallels of ministry because that's my realm of understanding and that's my experience. But raising our own budget means we talk, we go and speak at churches and share our ministry and what we're doing, talk with pastors, talk with individuals, and building a team of people who are willing to support us and help us do, because I have to raise my budget, people who give monthly to help us do what we do every single month. And so, our first time around, because we were missionaries for 4 years in Central America, our first time around raising funds, the old school mentality of way of doing things is you call pastors and you set up a time to go and speak at a church. We were at a church yesterday in East Texas in Lufkin. And you go and you share, and they take an offering, and sometimes the church says, hey, we're going to support you for $20 a month. And so we did that purely. That's all we did the first time around. And we were effective. I mean, we went to El Salvador, spent 4 years, we raised our budget, but it took months. And it was a lot of time, a lot of wasted time during the week sitting around waiting for the next service. Or you'd call a couple of times and set up another meeting, and you have your calendar book, and you're just sitting around waiting for the next week to come so you can go and, share at a church. But we were effective. We got to the field. The second time around, we finished our budget, which was larger than the first time because we have 2 kids now and a lot more travel what we're doing. We started last June. We finished on March 7th, so 9 months. And we were a lot more, we took a different approach to doing it.
As opposed to the first time, it was like a year and a half.
It was like a year and a half the first time around, and we did 9 months this time. We took a different approach. We did it in a multitude of different ways. And so we took time, we sat down with individuals face-to-face, made phone calls, talked to somebody on the phone, our friends, our family, people that were connected to us, that knew us and knew our heart, sat down over coffee, sat down over dinner, sat down over lunch, and connected face-to-face personally and made individual asks and said, hey, you know us. Here's what we're going to be doing. Do you want to partner with us? I called pastors and I had coffee with pastors face to face. I set up services. I did everything I could. So I wasn't wasting time during the week. I spent hours every day sending letters, sending emails, sending messages, making phone calls, driving. One day I drove 3 hours over to Kansas City and spent an entire day having several different coffee meetings with different pastors, and then drove all the way back at the end of the day just to set those up so I wasn't wasting my time during the week to get this done as fast as possible. Effectiveness and efficiency, a good use of my time, doing things the right way, but also doing the right things together so I'm being effective and efficient, which is doing the right things with the right amount of time at the right time in the right way. So you get all those rights in order, and you accomplish far more results doing that. But we can often sabotage ourselves if we focus on one over the other. At first, it was a big step for me to step out. And I'll talk some more about this in a second about fear, but it was a big step for me to talk to somebody face-to-face and make an ask. I don't like doing face-to-face asking of anything. Get me behind a microphone in front of a big crowd. I'll talk for hours. I'll say the most daring, bold things you've ever heard in your life. Get me face-to-face and I'll shut up. I don't like it. It's uncomfortable for me. And so I spent a lot of time getting my spreadsheets ready, and I have a program to put all my information in and track my communications. I'd make 1 or 2 phone calls because I was being efficient at getting all my stuff in order. So it's really quick when I do it, but I wasn't being effective because I wasn't actually doing the right things. And I was sabotaging our results. We weren't seeing a good influx at first. We weren't making schedules. We weren't setting up appointments, nothing. So we can hyper focus on something, be really good at getting all the details together, but if we're not accomplishing results, we can sabotage ourselves because we focus on one thing rather than trying to actually accomplish results in the right way at the right time, if that makes sense. And so in thinking of this, and we were talking about this to the business and drawing it, what are some efficient activities? As Beachbody coaches, which we all are, I am as well, and I'm trying to dabble a little bit into coaching. After being on the cruise and talking to people, I'm trying to branch out a little bit and actually do some of the coaching side of things. But what are some efficient things that we can do that help us do it better? So doing things right. One is completing your trackers. So tracking your business daily and weekly. That's tracking your income. That's tracking your invites. That's tracking your 3 vital behaviors. That's tracking the things of the business that you know how to do, the basics of what you do every day, every week, staying on top of those trackers. That helps you get a good overall picture every day of where you are so you can be more efficient with your time when you're planning, okay, I haven't done enough inviting this week. I need to invite 15 more people today. I haven't done enough reading or development. I need to do more of that. And so tracking where you are so you know where best to spend your time during your day. 2 is your power hour list. So having that hour of time when you know those things you should be accomplishing during that power hour. If it's your post, if it's your workouts, if it's your Shaco, if it's your personal development, whatever you cram into that power hour, having that set and getting those done, because those are things that will help you do better in your business. That the personal development, That is highly important for what you're doing because that's helping you be efficient. It's teaching you leadership skills so you can do things better when you do them. So when you talk to people better. You know the talk points. You know how to approach people, how to lead your team calls, how to pour into your coaches. So those things help you be better and do things right when you do them. Updating your contact lists. If you don't follow up with people who are interested, if you're not setting that up, if you don't know what you've said to somebody when you've called them or what their objections are, or if they've said I need to wait, or what program's interested, or what their goals are, if you're not tracking on your contact and your follow-up list, you can't be efficient in your communications. You don't know what to talk about. You don't know how to approach them. You can't be effective if you haven't kept an efficient, detailed list of, okay, this is my communication record right here with so-and-so. I talked on this date. We messaged on this date. We talked about what they want to do, where they want to go, how they want to be, what they want to accomplish, what their goal is, what the program is, if they need to wait a month, whatever. So updating and staying on top of those lists. So when you go to reach out to somebody, you know what you've talked about. You know where to jump in so you can be more efficient in your communication with them. Time management. I think just about anybody you're going to talk to in this business or any business at all, time management skills is the number one thing for efficiency. If you can't effectively schedule your time and manage your time, if you spend the whole time scrolling on Facebook, and you're saying, but I'm really good, I'm liking a bunch of things, but you're wasting time, 30, 45, 50 minutes scrolling on Facebook, you're wasting time that you could be using to do better somewhere else, to help you prepare your materials, to help with marketing plans or whatever. So using your time efficiently. And I believe it's probably all women on this call, correct?
Probably.
In this call, majority are women. A lot of them have kids. You guys have kids. I know Lisa has this too. And so your time is very limited. I mean, we've all got that. I mean, I'm a dad. I have limited time when I'm at home. And my kids want my attention. I got to make dinner. I got to get them bathed and get them into bed. We were struggling to get here for 8 o'clock tonight. And if I don't know how to manage my time, I lose time. I waste time, and suddenly I don't have time. And we all have 24 hours in the day. Lindsay Matway, Melanie Mitro, Bonnie Engel, Carl Deichler all have 24 hours in a day.
Look at this. He learned people.
We all have the same amount of time. It's how we use it that makes us efficient in what we're doing. Marketing plan and monthly calendars. So being efficient at your planning. So how am I marketing myself? How can I do it better? How can I be better and save words or say it more effectively? Use more powerful words. Use more meaning juiced up words rather than using fluff words. How can I is it Facebook ads? Is it Instagram? How am I best marketing what I'm doing? And then your monthly calendars. So setting up, I don't know what you're trying to say there, monthly calendars.
Monthly calendars is like when you're going to do if you do free groups, when you're going to do your free groups, when you're going to start your challenge groups, when you're going to start your coach sneak peeks. Like, even if I'm the one who's running them, like having those marked on your calendar so you know what you're supposed to be marketing and what you're supposed to be talking about in your posts in the days leading up to. You know, you can wait until I did a coach sneak peek yesterday. So you could have waited until Saturday and talked about it Saturday and then Sunday, but nobody would probably join. If you talk about it for a week leading up to it, then you've been piquing people's interest.
Right. And then creating new training materials. Hopefully you should be, as you're building your team and getting coaches underneath you, you should be training people underneath you. You should always be building up the people underneath you, because otherwise you just got a bunch of people who are getting products for a discounted price. If you're not developing,
nothing wrong with that, but it's not going to grow your team.
But if you're building a business, if you're building a team, you should be pouring into the leaders underneath you and creating and helping them do what you're doing so that you can get higher up, so they can get higher up, so that you help them build their business. And that's how you build your business. That's the purpose of business building, is pouring into people. And so
I think a lot of times, to be efficient, a lot of us, we talk about duplication all the time. Like, how can I make this more duplicatable? Like, how can I make this easier for my coaches? Like, we always want to improve the wheel a little bit. But a lot of times we can waste so much time trying to better something that's already done. Like, if it's done and it's great, use it. If you think you need to tweak something and move on. But we don't have to recreate the wheel every single time.
And as you learn new things in your personal development, you can I say this better? Is there a better point I can throw in there that's more effective, or even more, gets the point across better than what's being said? So always looking at and using what you can, but also putting in your personal touches and what's going on, so that having those materials ready and being able to put out helps you be efficient in training coaches and helping them do what they do in their business. So the effective side, what are some effective activities as Beachbody coaches? Of course, your 3 vital behaviors. Invites, relationship building. This is a relationship building business. Relationship building is not efficient. There is no shortcut to building relationships. I'm sorry. It takes time. And sometimes a ton of time to build a relationship. But that's the purpose. The purpose isn't to sell a product so that somebody, drinks a couple of shakes and works out 3 days out of a 21-day program and then gives up. But I've sold it, so I got my commission. That's not the purpose of this business. The purpose of this build is building relationships, helping people make changes in their lives, and that takes time. People will buy and they'll invest in you when they know you. People are more likely to invest in and get along with and follow after somebody that they have a personal relationship with. And that's one thing we learned in ministry. And ministry is a relationship business. I hate not business, but it's relationships at the core. It's building relationships, pouring into people, helping them grow in their life. And it takes time. You have to get to know somebody. I can't walk up to somebody as a missionary trying to raise my budget and go and talk to somebody and say, hey, my name's Josh. Great. Your name is Jeff. Jeff, do you want to support me for $15 a month? I'm a missionary going to Latin America. Do you want to give some money to me every single month? What do you think he's going to say to me? He's probably going to look at me like I have 3 heads and then walk away or shake his head or, use some choice words. I don't know. But if I take the time to build a relationship with Jeff, we've talked, we've hung out, we've shared, and I didn't build the relationship for the purpose of getting him to support me, but I've invested genuinely in the relationship. He is more likely to come alongside of me and support me, whether it's prayer or finances or stay in contact with me because we have relationships. So invitation is important. Relationship building is effective. That's how you get results. That's how you build your business, is building relationships with people. 2 is workouts and Shakeology. If you're not working out, you're not drinking Shakeology, you're not a product of the product. You're not going to be effective. If you're not modeling in your life what you want somebody else to do, you're never going to be effective in this business. It's the same thing as a pastor. If I'm not living out what I'm telling people they should be doing, when I'm helping teach people the way they should live as a follower of Jesus, and I'm not modeling that in my life, I'm not going to be effective, because they're going to be like, you're a hypocrite. You're not doing what you're asking me to do. It's practicing what you preach. So if you're not doing these things and modeling it and showing it and publicizing on your Facebook, you're not going to be effective, because if you're not doing it, why am I going to get up there and do it? Part of the business is relationships and accountability. So you want to be effective.
We talk all the time about leading with integrity, and that's a big part of it. Leading with integrity means not asking anybody else to do something that you're not willing to do yourself.
Right, exactly. A leader never tells somebody else to do something they wouldn't do themselves. That's exactly the way it is. Mm-hmm. And then personal development takes time. It's not a quick fix unless you listen to audiobooks while you clean the house or take a shower through a shower-safe radio. I wouldn't take your iPhone into the shower, please, and then try and charge me for the bill when it breaks. But using that time to listen to personal development, but it takes time. An hour-long audiobook's going to take an hour.
There's no shortcut.
These team calls take the time they take. There's no shortcut, but it's how you be effective. It's how you grow. Me sitting there and reading books for development and leadership helps me grow and be more effective as a leader, but it's not efficient. It takes time, but I need that time in order to be better in what I'm doing. Creating valuable content. So creating the things, your post, how you craft your post. Sometimes, I'm going to be honest here, it drives me nuts when, Lisa takes a picture and then for maybe 10 minutes, she's sitting there trying to craft the right words, and I'm trying to get stuff going and getting shoes on the boys, and we've got to hurry. We got to be this place, or I'm just hungry and I want to go eat. And I'm like, are you done yet? No, I'm finishing my post. You've been at this for 15 minutes. It's only 2 paragraphs long. But it's taking the time to create the valuable content, something that's, if someone's going to invest in you or invest in your business, it's because it brings value to their life. And that's also part of the business, is bringing value to people. Beachbody isn't selling workout programs just to make people sweat or so that they'll buy it and then never use it. They want to bring value to somebody's life to help them change their lifestyle. That's the purpose. And so being effective is creating that valuable content that actually pours into somebody else's life, that actually conveys something meaningful to them, to people in your niche market. Growing and developing your team. Once again, this takes time, but you cannot be effective in this business if you're not developing those behind you. If you're not helping them be successful in their business, if you're not pouring into them, if you're not giving them the materials and the training and the help and the accountability they need to be successful, you can't be successful. It's just the way that it is. Selling challenge packs, surprise, surprise. You make money off of commissions. Your team volume is off of what you sell, of what gets sold after you. You're not going to be effective and see results in the business if you're not actually selling things, if you're not actually helping promote the challenge packs and the programs and talking about it. You've got to do it. It's part of the business. It's part of what you do.
The only way to hit Success Club is through selling challenge packs and Shakeology on Home Direct. But this is effective activities as well, because we know, like, we've done the research, we've done the trainings. You guys have all watched the hours and hours of Shakeology videos, and it's proven, like, think about your own challengers. Like, it's been proven that their best results, their best chances at having success is through a challenge pack, is through a program and Shakeology and accountability. All three of those combined equal success. And the only way they get that, or the best way, I mean, they could buy it all separately, but the best way to do that is through challenge packs. So actually selling challenge packs, not just the individual programs, or, I don't know, him hawing about it.
This is a business, not a charity.
That's right.
I mean, when it comes down to it, you are building a life for yourself. You are trying to help the financial side of your family, help support your family, retire your spouse, whatever it is you're trying to do. If it was a charity, we just go out and do it for free in the gym. But sales is part of this to be effective. And the last thing is participating in training, going to Super Saturdays, being a part of Summit, being a part of those training opportunities, because it makes you better, helps you stay on the cutting edge, and it helps push you to be a better coach, to be better in the business, to see more results, because you're receiving the training necessary to be more effective in what you do in your business.
And when that says trainings, that's trainings that I put on, trainings that Becca puts on.
That's National Wake Up Call.
That's National Wake Up Call. Like, all of those things kind of add in together.
All right. So, in thinking of this, there's three common objections. When I was thinking about this, talking about this, there are three common objections to people in the coaching world of what keeps them from being efficient, effective, what keeps them from actually seeing results. First is when fear plays a role. So fear is one of the biggest objections we have. I'm afraid. I don't want to talk to somebody. I don't want to reach out to my family and friends. I don't want to post the pictures. I don't want to talk about the product. I'm afraid what are they going to think about me? Are they going to get mad at me? Are they going to tell me I'm in a pyramid scheme? What are they going to do? Are they going to be offended because I tried to help them, think that I'm calling them fat because I asked if they wanted to try the portion control, whatever it may be. Fear, however, is just an excuse. It's all it is. Fear is an excuse to not do something. That's all it is. Our pastor says this all the time, and it's one of the things that I've liked as terms of fear, the definition of it. He calls it false evidence appearing real. It's just, there's nothing truthful about fear. It's just our mind deceiving us and trying to keep us from doing something. Andy Mineo, who's a Christian artist and hip hop, has a song, and one of my favorite lines, one of my favorite songs. One of my favorite lines, he says, I've got two choices when I do this. I can make moves or I can make excuses. And fear keeps us making excuses. It's an excuse not to do anything. It keeps me stagnant, keeps me where I am and doing what I'm doing, and never lets me get it forward because I'm afraid to step out. I'm afraid to do something new. If we live by fear, we never accomplish anything. We would not have gone on a free cruise and had a great time for a week, eating a lot more food than necessary, and then trying to work out all morning with all the people on the deck just to feel better about myself because I ate four entrees the night before. But we wouldn't see that. Lisa, this month is on track to make more than I'm going to make this month, to pay our mortgage 4 times over this month, her biggest month ever. We would not be here if she would allow fear to take control. Think about this. As we said before, this business is about helping people. It's about helping people accomplish life change, about helping people get their nutrition in order, helping themselves get off of medication, and helping people provide an income and a life for their family that maybe they've never thought possible. We're helping people. And if you allow fear to hold you back, you're keeping yourself from helping somebody else. You're holding yourself back from helping somebody else accomplish a goal or a dream they've had in their mind but never thought they could actually do it. That person that'll lose that 50 pounds that they want to lose so badly, and they've yo-yo dieted, never gotten there, and your fear is keeping them from having the opportunity that could be the life changer for them. In experience in ministry, it's not fun as a missionary to talk to people. It's not fun to sit down with people, even I've known for years, who are very dear friends, and ask them to partner with me. I don't like it. It's awkward. It scares the daylights out of me because I'm like, I don't want to hurt the relationship. What if they don't want to be my friend anymore? What if they think that I'm only their friend because I want to get money because, I've been called a moochionary instead of a missionary? What are they going to think about me? Is it going to make it awkward now that, they support me monthly? Like all these different things. But it boils down to this, and this is, I was telling this to Lisa earlier, it's very scary to do that, but I have to do that in order to follow God's call upon my life. It's what I have to do. I have to raise my support to go and do what I feel like God is leading me to do in my life. And talking to people face to face is part of that, is setting it up. And that's really scary. But what we do as Beachbody coaches, offering lifestyle change is far less scary than just going and asking somebody for money. And when you boil it down to what we're doing here is not scary at all. Giving somebody the opportunity to change their life isn't frightening. It's exciting. It's something that's and what we do is valuable. And you have to ask yourself that question. If you're wrestling with fear when it comes to this opportunity, do I really believe that what I'm sharing is valuable? Do I believe in what I'm doing that is going to can change somebody else's life? Do I believe that it can make them better? It can help their family. It can help the relationship. It can help their health. It can put them on a better path. Do I believe in what I'm putting forward? And if so, there's no fear in sharing it because you're only offering benefit to somebody. And when it comes down to it, getting over fear, there's only one way through fear, and that's just to go through it. So take a step and do it. That's all you can do. Lisa, she said this here, and it's a great illustration. It's like childbirth. I've never personally birthed a child. Thank the Lord for that, because that would be far more painful than I ever want to experience in my life. But childbirth is fearful. It's scary. The idea of pushing a human being out of your body is painful. It's scary. There's a lot ahead of it. But the only way to get through childbirth is to push it out.
I'm sorry. I don't think he knows the pun he just said. What? There's a lot ahead of it.
Oh, shut up.
No, but it's funny because he said, do you believe what you're sharing is valuable? As Beachbody coaches, I think we all know that. Like, we all know that what we have is valuable. We've experienced the life change. But that's something that when we were sitting down talking to people, most of the time Josh would do the vision casting, and then he'd get all awkward and silent, and I can't handle awkward pauses. And so I would just jump in there and I would do the ask. And it's just kind of how it worked out for us. And that's something that I asked myself all the time, because it's never easy. I pretended like it was. Like, I feel like if I make it awkward, then it's going to seem awkward. And this is the same way when it comes to coaching. I try to make it a very casual invite or ask, like, hey, have you ever considered doing what I do? Or, hey, have you ever considered joining in one of my health online accountability groups? And I just try to make it super simple and casual, because the more awkward you make it, the more awkward they're going to feel. If you feel awkward about it and you ask awkwardly, then they're going to feel awkward about it. So when it came to meeting up with people and asking people to support us as missionaries, I just thought about it the same way. Do I believe what I'm sharing is valuable? Like, do I believe that they really should invest in us because what we're doing is valuable? It's valuable to the kingdom. It's valuable to somebody else's life. Like, somebody else is going to be changed by this. If the answer was yes, which it always was, then I felt like I'm helping them by asking them. Like, I'm giving them the opportunity to join in with us and be a blessing and earn jewels in heaven, and huge blessings here on earth by joining with us. And you guys should feel the same way. Like, you're giving them this crazy awesome opportunity, not just to lose weight. We all know, yeah, losing weight is fantastic. Looking great in a bathing suit, fantastic. But you eat a couple more slices of bread and you're probably going to bloat and not feel as great. The change comes with the emotional baggage and the self-love that comes through the challenge groups, and comes off with the weight and off with, the perceptions that they've carried around for so long. Women are emotional beings and emotional creatures, and I don't think it's just us. Josh went through his own weight loss journey, and he still deals with the baggage from time to time. And so it's a continual process of, like, not just losing the physical weight, but losing the mental weight, losing the emotional weight, the burdens they've been carrying around for so long. And so if you think that's valuable, which I certainly do, then it's true. Like, you should invite with pride and without fear. I don't know, with confidence. That's what I was going to say.
Right.
And yes, Becca used to always say the only way to overcome fear is the only way out is through. Is what she used to say.
True.
And it made me think back to, when I first became pregnant with Kai, and that first pregnancy, you have nothing to relate. A child's coming out of your body. Like, you don't know. You have no idea how that's going to happen.
I still don't.
But at the same time, like, that baby's growing inside of you, and you're like, every week you're stepping a little bit closer to it. And you may be kind of terrified on the inside. Yes, you're excited, but you're also a little terrified. If you're honest with yourself, or maybe that's just me. But the only way out was through. The only way you could get through it was for the baby to come out. Whether that was, in Kai's situation, that was C-section, which was still emotionally scarring and very difficult to go through, but in a different way, or whether it's vaginal. Either way, the only way out is through. And so the only way through that fear is by pushing through and getting to the other side, and then looking back and being like, that wasn't so bad, I'll have another kid.
Now, the next big objection is my market's too small, or I've completely tapped out my market. And this one I laugh at, quite honestly. I know it's a real thing. I know it's a real issue. People will come to terms with it. Like, I have asked every person that I know. I have tapped out my entire, people that I'm comfortable talking to, or I've even reached out to all 300 of my Facebook friends, if it's that small. But quite honestly, the truth of the matter is, you make your own market. That's just it. Yes, there's the warm market that people are closer to, and there's your cold market. But quite honestly, you build your own market. No one's going to build it for you. No one's going to lay out, say, here, call these people. There's no cold leads. There's none of that stuff. You make your own market. You know more people than you think. If you sat down and using a memory jogger or name storming, you sit down and you rank out everyone that you know, going through your Facebook list, your neighbors, your friends, your family, your extended family, people you know from high school, from college, from church, from work, from the mom's group, from your bridge club, whatever it is, that you know people, whether they just know their names. You know a lot more people than you actually think that you know. You have connections with people. And it's a matter of stepping out of your comfort zone and just inviting those people, inviting the ones you're putting off. You keep your tracker every week of people you want to reach out to. Well, look back at your past few trackers and how many names in that list make it to every single week. Okay, it's time to talk to those people. It's time to stop putting them off till we can actually reach out to them. Don't hold somebody else's future in your mouth because you're afraid. Don't hold back the opportunity for somebody else and keep it to yourself just because you're afraid to reach out to them and give them the opportunity. It's never going to happen unless you do it. As a pastor, as a missionary, with our experience just recently, I was thinking as I'm doing this, and I'm like, man, we are living in St. Louis. We've been there for 3 years. And things are broken up into districts, and it's all based upon the region about where you live and all this stuff. But our district is very small. It's rural Northwest Missouri. Very small churches, very spread out, not a whole lot of places that connect to people. And I could easily sit there and say, well, I've only got 60 churches that I can reach out to. I have restrictions. I can only call so many people or talk to people that I know or that are nearby me. I didn't have time. I was working full time. The past 3 months I spent working full-time and working when I could, trying to substitute teach, and still trying to do this and get our budget together. I have all these excuses. I don't have enough people to call. There's not enough money around. There's not enough people that I know. I could do that. But I had to put myself out there. I had to sit down and make the phone calls. I had to sit down there and find opportunities, put myself in situations where I'm going to meet people. I went to where pastors were meeting when they'd have meetings and talk about business, and I went there and I met people. And I developed relationships. I put myself in situations and meetings and in groups where I was going to meet new people, where I was going to make connections that could open different doors and open up new opportunities. I had to make my own market. I had to go out and make my own network of people that I could reach out to. And it's the same way for Beachbody. You have to make your market. Yes, you talk to the people that you know. Talk to the ones you're close to. The ones you haven't talked to in a while, it's time to start talking to them. It's time to rebuild that relationship. It's time to put yourself out there and get out of your comfort zone. If that's you're sitting in Costco, this happened to us a couple weeks ago, about a month ago. We're in Costco. We're sitting down having a nice, healthy hot dog and a slice of pizza because it's $1.50 for a hot dog and a drink.
The boys were doing that. I was gluten-free. I was not.
But we're sitting there, and there's a family right next to us, and we just started talking to them right next to us and just kind of sharing, and we led to some common ground and started talking. And now Lisa's been talking to the wife, and I think she's
in our challenge group, and she's about to become a coach.
And it wasn't that we started talking to them so we could sell them something. We just started talking to people and building a different relationship, We were talking about this in the car earlier today, and it sounds creepy, but it's really not. I'm a kid at heart, and so I love kids. And so when I'm around people that have children, like, I love to talk to kids. They'll be eating a pizza, but hey, how's that pizza? Or they're, wearing some really cool light up shoes. Man, your shoes are really cool. Do you like Spider-Man? And then from that, I'll ask the parent, like, hey, how old are your kids? And they're like, well, they're 4. Well, my son is 4. Instant affinity. I've already created a connection with somebody, talking to them face to face just by talking about their kids. Because what parent doesn't like to talk about their children? I didn't do that because I'm trying to sell them something or because, or any reason. I just did it to get to know them, to talk to them. But that's outside of my comfort zone. But I found a talking point. I find a way to talk to them. Amy Silverman, who's one of the top coaches in the company, she was talking about this in a top 10. They had a top 10 panel on the boat for all the top 10 coaches. And they're kind of talking about some things. And she has a 3-foot rule that she established for herself. And she doesn't like to talk to people. She's an outgoing introvert. She doesn't like to just step out and talk to somebody. It's outside of her comfort zone. But she's a 3-foot rule. And she said it for herself, and she wasn't going to like it. But she forces herself to do it. If anybody gets within 3 feet of her, she starts a conversation. Whether that's at the produce section or if that's walking through Walmart, or if it's getting gas or whatever. If someone steps inside of her 3-foot bubble, she starts a conversation with them. And that's the only way to do it. You begin building relationships, and it starts with a conversation. You have to set those things and force yourself into situations. If it's getting into a mom's group, if it's going to the zoo and talking to other people, if it's going to classes, if it's going to a coffee place or whatever it may be, putting yourself in a situation to meet new people, to build relationships, to build more of a network so that you expand yourself. And I think she said also her main point for doing that, her goal in creating a conversation is to connect with somebody on Facebook.
Yeah. So
you connect on Facebook. I mean, this business is social media. You connect with somebody, you connect on Facebook, they begin to see you and your journey and what you're doing, and that opens the door for later on opening a possibility. But
that's exactly how it happened with the lady at Costco too. We were talking about other things, and then I don't think I mentioned Beachbody once during that thing. And then I found her on Facebook while I was talking to her. I was like, hey, let me add you on Facebook really fast. And she goes, okay, that sounds great. And since we had been talking, it wasn't awkward. It wasn't weird. And then she watched my thing and she started commenting right away on my stuff. And then we started a conversation, and boom, she was in my next challenge group. And so like little by little by little, it's just moved on. And Amy Silverman, one thing she also said that I kind of loved, because we're coaches and most of us have smartphones, we walk around like this all the time, like constantly. This is what we're doing. However, she said, get your face out of your phone. Like real life, real connection. You're going to build relationship way faster in real life, talking for just a couple minutes, whether you're commiserating. You just burped.
Sorry.
Whether you're commiserating over, the terrible produce selection, or one time I was sitting, I don't feed my kids sugar, any refined sugar, until they're at least a year old. And so I'm sitting there in the baby section one time, and I'm looking at all the little snacks that they have, like the puffs and all of those things that you can like easily throw in your diaper bag. Well, I'm looking through all of them, and it's like sugar, 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 sugar. And I'm reading them, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. I literally said it out loud. And the lady next to me said, what? And I said, there's sugar in every single one of these. Like, why are we feeding our babies sugar? And she goes, I know, right? It's ridiculous. So we got to talking there. Facebook, like, hey, let me connect with you on Facebook. It sounds like we have a lot in common. It sounds awkward to like say, make sure you connect with them on Facebook. But when you're talking to somebody, if you don't make it awkward, like, then it's not awkward. I say all the time, like, hey, maybe we can meet up and get our kids together or whatever. Like you can make it super simple and casual, and then they're following your journey along the way. Mm-hmm. So you're creating your market, and they're automatically kind of a warm lead because they know you.
And you're inviting them into your world. That's what you're doing. You're inviting them into your world.
Moving on.
And I know that I'm going to try and wrap this up quick. I'm very long-winded and talky a lot. So the last objection is I don't have any support. And let me just say I'm sorry. Unfortunately, not every husband is supportive, and not every spouse or every partner or significant other is supportive. It's just the case. I've heard stories. This is not a pat on my back, but Lisa is in a blessed situation where she has somebody who has been supportive from the beginning. And that's not, once again, I'm not saying go me, I'm an awesome husband, give me an award. I'm just saying she's lucky in that. Far many other women don't have that situation. Far other spouses and partners don't have the support, or they just don't have anybody to support them. If you're in that situation, let me say the number one thing that you can do with your significant other or your partner is communication. They don't know what you're doing. They have no clue. When Lisa started this, I had no clue what she was talking about. We worked out together. I didn't care, to be honest. No. I just said, yeah, if you want to do it, great. We'll try it. We'll get healthy, and maybe we'll feel better. And if not, we'll get our money back and whatever. When she wanted to start coaching, I was like, okay, what's it going to cost? Okay, fine. Have some fun. I mean, that's fine. Go ahead and do it. And there were times throughout the process and the journey that we've had some discussions and some arguments because I didn't understand what was going on. And it frustrated me because I had no idea why she's spending hours of her time on the computer when, I'm like, hey, come over here and sit next to me and let's watch TV or something. But she's spending hours. I'm like, you need to stop this because I'm being left out here alone. But you have to communicate. Talk to them about why you want to do it. Talk to them about what your dreams are. Talk to them about how it makes you feel, what you're accomplishing, what's going on in the business. Bring them into it so they know what's happening, so they have the information necessary to feel like they understand what's going on. Because honestly, lack of communication is one of the biggest reasons why people have arguments in relationships, is lack of communication. And so communicating and sharing what's going on and what you're doing. The second one is show them. Work your tail off. No one can argue with actual results. If you are working your butt off and doing all that you can do to build your business and be successful at it, when they begin to see the results coming in, they can't argue and say, well, it's just a waste of time and whatever. No, when you start getting those paychecks in or you start seeing those changes in your income and your family's lifestyle, they're going to turn their head and be like, okay, wait a second. There's some credibility to what's going on here.
And let's be honest, that's kind of what happened with Josh. At the beginning, he was like, yeah, sure, that's great. As long as you cover your costs, whatever, I don't really care. But as I started pulling in some income that he was kind of shocked by, he was like, oh, well, that's nice. But still, it wasn't even close to what he was making. And so it was like, oh, that's nice play money. Like, what are you going to do with that, But then as he saw me get recognized and, go up the ranks and become diamond and then star diamond and 2-star diamond, like as he's watching that, like he's getting more and more and more invested. Not only is he seeing my paychecks rise and go up.
I got to go on a cruise.
Yeah, he got a free
sold
cruise.
It for me, all right? I got to go on a cruise.
When I earned the free cruise for us, he was like, okay, well, now this thing's legit. And I think when your spouses go on that first trip, whether it's Summit or a Success Club trip, any of those things, they get to see the real people. We're walking back to our room one night, and all of a sudden, obviously things are going on inside of their brains. They're just not telling you. And one night we're walking back and he goes, Bonnie Engel doesn't look very old. And I'm like, no, she's not. She's only like 24, 25. He's like, she's making how much money? Like she's number what in the company? And so seeing real people do it and talking and getting to talk to them and see that they're normal people just like us, it helps not only instill belief in ourselves, for ourselves, yeah, it's awesome for us, but also I think for Josh, getting to see the real people and see real results and see all of those things, it kind of changed things for him.
Yeah.
Not that he wasn't supportive before, but now he's kind of all in, I would say.
And on that, there's also the extreme cases, and this is an example of when results actually start happening, that it changes in the communication aspect as well. But Melanie Mitro, Lisa was telling me some of her story. And when she first, she's one of the top, she's the number one this year.
Last year and this year.
Last year, she's number one the last 2 years. But when she first started, her husband at first didn't let her, told her she couldn't do it. And so she used her birthday money to buy her first challenge pack. And behind his back, didn't tell him, used his birthday money, so her money to buy it and start it, and was doing some coaching. When he found out, he got angry and said, well, you cannot do it when I'm home. You cannot do it when the kids are awake. You can't do it on any of that time. So if you're going to do it, you cannot do it pretty much at all during the day.
Yeah, it can't affect our lives.
Can't affect our lives or anything like that. And so she got up early, got up like 5 o'clock in the morning, and would do her work stuff at 5 o'clock in the morning before her kids got up. And then she'd take care of her kids, do all this stuff in the day. And then when everyone went to bed, she worked at night and did the same thing every day and busted her butt doing it so that she was working around the non-support from her family that was doing that. And it got to a point where I think she retired her husband
in the fall.
No, this last fall, retired him from his business. And of course, he's actually come out and said things and even done calls about his own attitude and how that's changed, because now he's seen the effect and the results. And I, in my mind, I'm not going to lie, when Lisa was telling me this story, because it's just the way that I am. In my mind, I was like, man, he's really eating crow now, isn't he? It's just the way I am. But I mean, results speak for themselves.
He even called Lindsay Matway and gave her what
that's right. You told
for
me
letting Melanie sign up.
Shoot her out was like, how dare you let her sign up and all this kind of stuff. And I think he actually called later on and apologized for doing that. But results will speak to them more than anything else. And then quickly, surround yourself with people who are like-minded. Success partners. People are extremely important. I mean, as a minister, I have guys that I talk to that I can tell just about anything, that have walked through with me all the crap that I've been through in different aspects of ministry and life. I text them all day long what stuff is going on, and they help me walk through it. They're my support network. They're not here, but they understand me.
They're your ministry success
They are my success partners. Mm-hmm. And having people like that in your life, if you don't get it from your spouse or your partner, if you don't get it from your family, finding people who are like-minded, who can support you and pour into you, who are walking through the same path is important. And then
even if you do have it from your spouse, like I am never going to be in the same shoes.
Lisa could never tell me things about Beachbody. I don't understand a clue what she's talking about half the time. I mean, talking about stuff she's going through, I'm like, I don't know, whatever. But she has her success partners who understand, they're in the trenches with her, that can help walk her through and be supportive for her when I can't, because I don't understand. I haven't been through this for the last 2 years. I've been a spectator to it. And then the last thing, and I'm always going to say this because for us it is the most important thing, is prayer. Prayer does move the hand of God. Praying, and God can change the heart of an unsupportive partner. God can work upon them and bring them around, because this is an amazing opportunity for your family. And so action steps, wrapping up quickly, some action steps. Identify areas where you're spinning your wheels, so ways that you're not really being effective. And then areas that you're wasting too much time, where maybe you're getting some results, but you're not doing it the best way. You're spending hours doing something you could do in minutes. So identify those areas where you're not being effective and efficient in your business and all that you're doing. 2, set up your ritual and be consistent. I loved this. They had a panel with the celebrity trainers, and once again, my man Sagi was up there, and they're asking, what is the one thing in your life that you feel makes you most effective in life? And he said, I have my ritual. I get up every morning and I say thank you. I say my prayers, and then I do my workouts, take my supplements, and then I find someone to help. I help somebody every single day, and that's his ritual. He goes, I do that every single day. I say thank you. I pray, my workouts, my supplements, my nutrition, and I find someone to help every day. Having your ritual that you set every single day and being consistent is the best way to be effective and the best way to be successful in what you're doing in this business. Do the same thing every day and set it up like a ritual. There's nothing wrong with habits in your life and being consistent with it. And the next one follows with that, prioritizing your schedule and setting time limits. So if that means you got to get up early to get your ritual in, I'm an early riser. I will get up every morning at 5:30. I will take my Energize as soon as I get up. For the next 10 to 15 minutes, I'll read my Bible, and then I'm going to do my workout and get my sweat on. I'm going to go upstairs, drink my Recover, and start making breakfast because my kids will wake up in the next 30 minutes. That's my ritual every day. That's what I do. And I don't even push the business. That's just what I do. But I have my schedule that way. I know that's how I'm going to start my day. And I prioritize the things in my schedules, and you have to set time limits. When Lisa started the business, there was a rough patch there where she was working a lot, and I felt neglected. And I had to come to her and I had to say, I was like, listen, we've got to do this. We have to figure something out. So we set a schedule. And she said, all right, these are the days I'm going to work from this time to this time. This is the night that I have off that we have as our time. We have this time for family time. And she set defined limits, which helped me, being an outside spouse, understand, okay, I've got time to look forward to that is business time. Now she has set business hours where she works during these times and she has this certain time. She's not working. You have to set boundaries. No one will do it for you. So set your schedule, prioritize your time, and set your boundaries for it. And then last, write down your internal objections. What's holding you back? Is it fear? Is it fear of failure? Is it fear of people? Is it not having support? Is it the excuse of I don't have a market? Whatever it is, what is your internal objection? Write it down, and then create a plan to overcome it. How are you going to get past that objection? How are you going to set yourself up for success to overcome that obstacle?
Yeah, so good. Okay, I'm going to stop the recording one day. Oops.